Okay, guys, so in this video, I'm going to explain this exercise. So the first thing says, the Shard, which was completed in 2012, is the tallest building in the European Union. So you've got to use a reduced clause. So I would say, in this case, completed in 2012, the Shard, I think it should be like that. The Shard, and then blah, blah, the rest of the sentence, is the tallest building in the European Union, okay? So if they are washed with care, woolen sweaters will retain their shape, their forma. So I would just say in that case, washed with care, comma, woolen sweaters, okay? Then the next one would be, they hoped to confirm the suspect's part in the robbery. So the detectives arranged an identity parade. That would be hoping to confirm the suspect's identity or the suspect's part in the robbery. The detectives, okay, the detectives, blah, blah, okay. All right. The winner crosses the finish line and he raises his hands in triumph as he does so, mientras lo hace. So I would say in this case, crossing the finishing line, comma, the winner raises his hands in triumph. Okay, all right. And the explorer will undergo final medical checks, and then posteriormente he will set out on his polar expedition trip. So I would say, having undergone final medical MSA medical checks, the explorer will set out tras haber concluido sus revisiones médicas. Okay, because we didn't realize how dangerous the snake was, the toddler reached out towards it. Not realizing how dangerous the snake was, comma, the toddler reached out towards it. The toddler reached out towards it, and that's all the exact same. Okay, so I hope that was all clear. Let's move on then, guys, and we'll have a look at this. So the present participles of each of these verbs is really easy. Making, building, stopping, offering, preferring, lying, traveling, arguing, and occurring. Yeah, super simple, right? Okay. So let's have a look at this then. The past participle of these ones. So bite, let me open that notepad again. I might write a few of these, some of the more difficult ones maybe. So that'll be bite, bit, bitten. Bring, brought, you know that one already. Catch, caught, you know that already. Drive, drove, driven, you know that already. Fight, fought. You fought to spread like that. I'm sure you know that already. Fly, flew. Flew and flown. Hide, hid, hidden. I'm sure you know that already. Leave, left, meet, met. Prove, this is a bit of a weird one because you can say proved, but then you can also say I have proved, but I prefer to say proven. So it's one of those weird ones where you have more than one option. Okay. Sell, sold, really easy. Speak, spoken, really easy. Wake, woken. Yeah, so that's all really nothing too difficult for a teacher, right? So I lost my purse. I was traveling to work. So I lost my purse mientras I was traveling to work. So it said, a group of cavers spent 10 hours trapped underground. They have been finally rescued. And what we need to do here is use this word after to kind of join them up. So the way I would do that in this particular case is after spending 10 hours trapped, 10 hours trapped underground, a group of cavers have or has, you could say, you could say have been rescued in like the collective noun sense. A group of cavers have, but in American English, it might be a little bit more common to say has. Yeah, but I would accept either one, really. A group of cavers have or has been rescued or has finally been rescued, whatever. Okay. All right. So next one then. I admit that driving at excessive speeds, manejar muy rápido, is dangerous. I don't accept we should have speed cameras everywhere. Yeah. So that'd be, while I accept, o sea, sí acepto eso, pero no creo, blah, blah. So while I accept, or while I admit, sorry, while I admit that driving at excessive speeds is dangerous, comma, I don't accept. Sorry, I think my keyboard's actually in Spanish. I don't accept that we should, or I don't accept we, you don't need that if you don't want to. I don't accept that we should have. Yeah? Mientras reconozco eso, no estoy de acuerdo en que blah, blah. Okay. He wasn't a local. He didn't know the area. Así que, not being a local, como no era lugareño, not being a local, he didn't know the area. Okay, no problems there then. Civilians heard that a peace treaty had been signed. They began celebrating. So that would be on hearing that, let's just say treaty, to not write too much. On hearing that a treaty had been signed, the civilians started or began, whatever, began celebrating. Yeah, like this on hearing that, it's como al enterarse que. Yeah, o al enterarse de que. Okay, so like on arriving, al llegar. Okay, so the judge didn't agree with the defendant's actions. He said he did sympathize with her situation. So, no estoy de acuerdo con lo que hiciste, pero sí entiendo tu situación. So that would be, although the judge, I can't spell although the judge didn't agree with the defendant's actions, he said, he did sympathize with her situation. Okay. So, okay. Right, so that's all clear then. Very good, very good. So in this case, these ones are wrong and we need to suggest how they could have been rewritten. So I'm going to use the notepad again, actually. So roaring ferociously, the girl fled from the lion. Now, the problem is that that means that the person roaring was the girl and not the lion. So it doesn't really make sense. Roaring ferociously, how could this be rewritten? You could say the girl fled from the lion who was roaring ferociously. That could be a good way to do it. Yeah, that could work. I mean, that's obviously not the only option, right? The girl fled from the lion, which was roaring ferociously. Okay, so nothing too difficult there. And then B, 2 of the terrorists shooting the president have been caught. So 2 of the terrorists who shot the president would be the right. 2 of the terrorists shooting the president. It's like they're doing it kind of like right now, and they are shooting the president right now, and they have been caught. It doesn't really make sense. So I would just go for 2 of the terrorists. 2 of the terrorists who shot the president have been caught. Okay. The man inventing the digital camera has won an award. So that doesn't really make sense. The man inventing it, no. The man who invented, el hombre que inventó, no, has won an award. Not wanting to spoil the fun, the celebrations went on well into the night. Yeah, say what is wrong with the sentences and suggest how they could be rewritten. Not wanting to spoil the fun, the celebrations, the wedding celebrations. Yeah, the thing is, like, the wedding celebrations no pueden tener ganas o falta de ganas de arruinar la fiesta. So I would say something like this, not wanting to spoil the fun, como no querían arruinar la fiesta. The wedding celebrations went, I would say, the couple, la pareja, the couple permitió, allowed the wedding celebrations, the wedding celebrations to continue or to go on, if you want, to go on well into the night. Yeah, como la misma pareja no quería. Yeah. Now, of course, if you've got any other alternative, guys, just let me know in class, and we can discuss them, and I can tell you if they're right or wrong. That's no problem. So, planted with care, novice gardeners will be amazed. Pues obviamente no vamos a plantear a los jardineros, a las personas, obviamente, ¿no? Lo que se plantan son pues las plantas o flores or whatever, okay? So I would say planted with care, planted with care, it is amazing, it is amazing how easy it is to grow things. O sea, si lo plantas con cuidado, it's like that conditional use. Yeah, if you plant it carefully, sí, si no, no. Okay, passing his driving test, Gary became rather big-headed. Se creía mucho. So I would say in this case, this should be having passed his driving test, and then it's the exact same. So tras haber aprobado su examen de conducir, he became very big-headed. Big-headed means like arrogant, como que se cree mucho, okay? All right, very good. Now, it says here, we need to rewrite the text below, replacing the underlying information with reduced clauses, making any other necessary changes. So this might be a little bit long, but not impossible, right? So let me open up the notepad again. So let's have a look at this. So it says, after he had spent 3 days trapped on an ice floe, I would say in this case, having spent 3 days trapped on an ice floe, explorer Ben Miller was finally rescued last night. Because he wanted to become the first man, so wanting to become the first man, como quería, wanted to become the first man to solo walk Canada to the North Pole, he had set out last April, alone, todo solo, unaided, sin ayuda de nadie. He had no way of transporting possessions. So that would be having, al no tener, basically, having no way of transporting possessions, comma, he took. Yeah, he took very little with him apart from his camping equipment, a mobile phone, a shovel, like una pala, basically. He made good progress at first, but he then experienced a number of setbacks. So you could say, for example, having made good progress at first, he then experienced that. Primero todo bien, pero después ya no. Okay. The longest day of the year was approaching, which meant that the temperature will start. Right. So the longest day of the year, was approaching, and then we would add a comma, approaching, comma, meaning that, lo cual significaba que, meaning that the temperature will start rising, or meaning that. I think I prefer it with that in this case, but that's just personal preference. The ice gradually started to melt around him, with the result that he was prevented from. So that would be the ice gradually started to melt around him, preventing him from, lo cual hizo que fuera imposible para él, preventing him from going forward or backwards. No podía ni avanzar ni retroceder. Okay. Ben, who was now feeling desperate. So I would just say in that case, Ben, feeling desperate. Yes, all right. Another comma. Feeling desperate, searched around him. Okay. So because he didn't have any advanced technical equipment, so no tenía nada, so that'd be like not having any advanced technical equipment, comma, he had to rely on common sense, sentido común. He took out his shovel and he dug. So that'd be taking out his shovel. He dug, or yeah, he dug a runway. He dug a runway into the ice. A runway like somewhere for the, like a channel, you could say. Okay. The pilot succeeded in landing on the narrow strip. O sea, hizo un lugar para que pudiera aterrizar el avión, como la pista de despegue or something like that, right? A narrow strip. With the result that he saved Ben, saving Ben. So the pilot landed on the narrow strip of ice, saving Ben. Y así fue como salvo, saving Ben from almost certain death. Okay, good. Well, I hope that's all clear then. If not, then, please feel free to ask me in class. And yeah, well, I'll see you later on today. Okay, thanks very much.